What's up, everybody? I am live on Facebook, so we're going to do this. We're going to do our reading today live, and if anybody has any questions, you can drop them in the chat, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I hope the way this is going to work is I'm going to go live, do my reading, and then I can save this and upload it to the album later. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube later, obviously this was live on Facebook at the time of recording. So what we're doing today is 365 Days of Courage. We're doing Daily Wisdom. And we'll read a couple stanzas from the Have 'Em All. Now, when I'm live, I'm using my back camera, or actually using my front camera. So I don't know if this stuff is backwards. When I'm looking at it in the screen, it looks backwards. When I record and play it back, it looks fine. But when it's live, I'm not 100% sure how y'all see it. If you're watching this, tell me in the comments, does this look correct or does it look backwards? So what I did is I decided this year, actually I tried to do this, I guess in 2022. I had picked up this book and was going to start reading it daily, and I can't remember how I was posting it. Oh, I think I was taking a picture of the page and posting it on Facebook as I read it. I think is how we did it. I did it a little bit and just got discouraged and quit. So this year I figured we were going to read, and when I was picking up, so for my youngest, we've been reading this book. This one was from 2 years ago. This one was from last year. And we were picking up a new one for her for this year. And when I was at Walmart, I saw this one. I picked it up. And the first verse was Joshua, or it was from the book of Joshua. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And it's a little bit odd for me because I'm not much of a Christian. I don't know what I am, honestly. I like the stories of the old Norse gods. I wear my chain, my Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, around my neck every day. Or, I mean, it's always on me, all the time. And then I have my Valknutes. These are a symbol. It's that symbol right there. Some think it's a protection, a spell to bind protection. Some think it marks you for Odin to take you Valhalla. They don't really know what it means. They're just guessing. So for January 14th, simply believe. Overhearing what they said, Jesus said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not fear, only believe." Mark 5:36. It is important that we take the context of this verse into consideration. There was a synagogue leader whose daughter was gravely ill, and he asked Jesus to come to his house to heal her. While they were on their way, people from Jairus' house arrived and informed them that the daughter had died. Today's verse is Jesus' statement to the desperate father. Have you ever been desperate for God's help? When others step in and confirm your greatest fears, you have two choices. You can be overcome by them, or you can listen for Jesus' voice. He will not always say the same thing, but his voice always carries authority and brings peace. Lean in to hear his whisper, and don't let the forces of fear drag you or your hope away. Jesus will go with you, and you have only to rely on him. Your act of courage for today is when you are overwhelmed by what you are hearing from others in the world. Listen for Jesus' voice and believe he speaks truth. I think maybe some of why I decided to read this year is because I'm looking for that voice. His or some other God's voice, or I don't know. I know in my life I've seen a lot of things I can't explain. I've seen a lot of signs that I can't explain. And I've read a lot of the Bible, obviously. I've read a lot of other stories, and I don't know. Just some oddball things that I'd like to talk about on here, but I can't because, well, because I can't. When I try to talk about it, I have malfunctions with my. I'm not joking. I have a story that I've wanted to tell for a couple years now. Twice I've tried to record it and tell it to everybody, and both times I had some kind of malfunction. Something that was very, very simple, recording on my phone, but it malfunctioned and didn't record. And it's so much. I had a friend of mine, she reached out to me and she said, I want to know the story, because I was being vague. Last time I talked about this, I was being really vague. And she's like, you need to tell me. And I joked, I said, when I type this story out to you, my laptop's going to blow up and you owe me a new laptop, which obviously it didn't. But it will not let me record this story to tell it to you all. It's wild. But yeah, I've tried multiple times. One just about a month ago, and one a couple years ago, and it messed up. And I know I'm being vague. Things happen in my life that sometimes there's no explanation. And I think I'm looking to find answers to that, honestly. So for January 14th, for your daily wisdom, what prompts the Lord to take action? Because the poor are plundered and the needy groan, I will now arise, says the Lord. I will protect them from those who malign them, and the words of the Lord are flawless, like silver purified in a crucible, like gold refined 7 times. Psalms 12 and 5 through 6. What does the Lord notice? What prompts him to arise and take action? Today's psalm says that the plight of the poor is among God's top priorities. When the poor are slandered, plundered, and calling out in their grief, he takes notice and even takes action to protect them. Those who mistreat the poor or slander them place themselves against God and against the pure words of the Lord that promise deliverance one day. What's up, Weedman? If you're watching this later, one of my Marine Corps buddies, it showed that he was watching, so I was shouting him out. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube later, it ain't going to make sense, but I was recording this live on Facebook. You have surely heard accusations and slander against the poor, the second guessing of their ability, motivation, or education. What do you make of such statements? If you hope to imitate the Lord, then your first instinct should be to protect the poor, to speak up for them, and to offer help whenever possible. Such a pledge from the Lord to help the poor isn't a statement to take lightly. The word of the Lord is pure and refined, calling you to the highest ideals of love and service. And this book actually ends with a prayer each day. So it says, Father, help me to see the suffering of the poor and to take action in accordance with your holy word. I don't know if y'all can hear any background noise. My wife and kids have baby geese in the house. So geese are supposed to lay seasonally. We bought some geese last summer to grow out. And geese only typically lay from like April to August or April to June, something like that. Well, our geese decided they were at the age come wintertime to start laying. And these baby chicks are not too expensive, but I mean, it's like $20 a piece if you go buy geese from like the Tractor Supply, Rural King, whatever. So we didn't want those eggs to go to waste. We didn't just want to pop them and eat it, an egg. So I let her put them in the incubator, and we've got, I lost track. There's 10 of them upstairs. They're in totes, like plastic totes, separated by age, and I can hear them quacking. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera, but they're being quite loud, and the girls are taking care of them for the evening. So this is the Havamal. The Havamal, think of the Havamal as a book of, like when you think about a book of a Bible, like the book of Joshua, the book of Paul, whatever, the Havamal is a book of Odin. The Havamal is the words of the wise one, the words of the Allfather. Basically, this is translated from Old Norse or Icelandic to English, and it comes from the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. Some of this stuff is, the language is really rough because of the translation, but there are some good lessons in it. There's some good things to hear if you can get by. Think of it like reading Shakespeare. Shakespeare is like that old, England English, like Old English, and it's a little bit rough. and this is even rougher. But if you can get through that, there are some good lessons in here. I think I'll read 2 pages from it today. And it's laid out like stanzas, if you've never seen that before. 2 are adversaries, the tongue is the bane of the head. Under every cloak I expect a sword. At night is joyful he who is sure of traveling entertainment. A ship's yards are short, variable is an autumn night. Many are the weather's changes in 5 days, but more in a month. He only knows not who knows nothing, that many a one apes another. One man is rich, another poor. Let him not be thought blameworthy. Cattle die, kindred die, we ourselves also die, but the fair fame never dies of him who has earned it. Cattle die, kindred die, we ourselves also die, but I know one thing that never dies, judgment on each one dead. Full storehouses I saw at Dives' sons, now bear they the beggar's staff. Such are riches as is the twinkling of an eye, of friends they are most fickle. A foolish man, if he acquires wealth or woman's love, pride grows within him, but wisdom never. He goes on more and more arrogant. Then 'tis made manifest, if of runes thou questionest him, those to the high ones known, which the great powers invented, and the great talker painted, that he had best hold silence. At eve the day is to be praised, a woman after she is burnt, a sword after it is proved, a maid after she is married, ice after it is passed away, beer after it is drunk. So this book's not going to take as long to get through as the other ones. If you all have any kind of suggestions, hopefully throughout the year we'll build a community here. We'll have everybody jumping in the comments. If y'all like me to do it live, we can do more of that. I'm working on my backdrop here, trying to get more and more stuff. Like, I've got a lot up there. You can see it. So that buck me and Dad killed. That buck is one that I killed. It's a 10-point. Those are not my 2 big ones. My 2 big ones are hanging in my office. I may bring them out and put them one here. And this one. So last year for my outdoors channel, I bought these off of eBay. What I did is I took them out in the woods and I acted like I'd found them. Because, I mean, this is actually from 2 different deer. This is from a farm deer, or both of them are from a farm deer. I bought them off a guy on eBay, but it's a left and right of 2 different deer, but they were as close as I could find matched. But if you do the math, I mean, this is like 185 inch deer, and I tried laying them in the woods to make it look like I was going to do a joke. The way I wanted to do the video was like, oh my God, look at these, and at the end be like, I bought these on eBay. It's a joke, but it didn't even. The collar of them, because they were so collared and weathered, everybody knew immediately that they weren't real, so it backfired on me. But yeah, we're working on getting some more stuff for my backdrop. I'm going to order like an actual backdrop instead of just the orange paint, and hope to see you guys tomorrow, and hope you have a good night.